Literature. In the year 2016, he received the Nobel Prize for Literature. Now this poem, John Brown, okay? John Brown is actually, there are a few things to remember before we start with the poem. John Brown is actually representative of any soldier going to the battlefield. He is an example of any soldier going to the battlefield in order to fight for his country. Okay? Now, the second thing that you have to remember is the poem is in the form of a ballad. Okay? Now, what is a ballad? What is a ballad? Okay? Now, ballad is a form of poem, alright, which consists of 12 stanzas. Alright? So, ballad is a form of poem which consists of 12 stanzas. Okay? Another characteristics of this ballad is a ballad is a form of poem which contains stories of heroism. It contains stories of heroism with a moral. Okay? Now, the third thing that you have to remember here is this poem, John Brown, is all about war. Okay? It's all about war. Now, there are two aspects of war. There are two sides. One is the romantic aspect, alright, and the other one is what we call the realistic point of view. One is the romantic point of view and the other one is the realistic point of view. Now, what is meant by romantic view of war? Romantic view of war means where war has been idealized. What is meant by idealization of war? Where war has been glorified. War is considered to be a heroic act and soldiers are considered to be heroes fighting in the battlefield. Okay? So this is the romantic idea of war, where the entire concept of warfare is romanticized, idealized, isn't it? Soldiers, they are considered to be heroes. They are brave people who goes to the battlefield in order to fight for their country. Now, the second view is the realistic view. Now, what is this realistic view of war? The realistic view is actually the darker side. The darker side, which says that war is not a thing to glorify. Right? War is not a thing to glorify and the battlefield is not a place of glorification. Alright? Now, the realistic view tells us about the ill effects of war. Alright? It tells us that war is very horrifying. It talks about the death and destruction, the bloodsheds which takes place because of war. Rather, the realistic view tells us about the ill effects of war, the horrors of war. Right? So, I told you that war, there are two sides. One is the romantic view where the entire warfare is glorified. Alright? And the other one is the realistic view or the darker side where we are shown what war actually is. We are told what war actually is. War, this realistic view tells us that war is nothing but, or the battlefield is a place where you have bloodsheds, where you have destruction, where you have death. Okay? Now this realistic view of war we have seen in many stories and poems which you have done in class 10. You had the story Old Man at the Bridge, where there was where the story tells us about the ill effects of war. It tells us that when things like war takes place, it is not only when things like war takes place, then the effect of it is felt not only on the common mass, not only on the not only on the common people, or not only on the the leaders or the politicians, but it is felt on every individual, especially the common man, becomes the worst victim of war, which is portrayed very clearly in Old Man at the Bridge. We have another poem, After Blehem, which also tells us about the ill effects of war. Okay, so similarly, this poem, John Brown by Bob Dylan, this poem also portrays the ill effects of war, the horrors of war. That is why this poem is also called an anti-war poem. Anti-war poem which is against war. So Bob Dylan, in this poem, he talks about the ill effects of war, he talks about the horrors of war, and he tells us that war does good to no one. It spreads death and destruction. Okay, now let us start with the poem John Brown by Bob Dylan. So we have understood that this poem, it tells us about the true fate of American soldiers who were stationed in some foreign land to fight. Okay, now let us start with the poem John Brown by Bob Dylan. Now when the poem opens, we see the very first line. Yes, the poem begins like this: John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore. So John Brown, a character, a soldier, he goes to some foreign land. The place is not mentioned, alright, it can be any land, it can be any place. So he goes to some far off land in order to fight. Now, his mama refers to mother, his mama sure was proud of him. So the mother of John Brown was very proud of her son. Why she was proud of her son? Because her son was going to become a soldier. Alright, and it was a moment, it was a proud moment for the mother. So we have basically two characters in this poem. One is John Brown himself, okay, and the other one is the mother of John Brown. Alright, now John Brown, he presents the realistic view of war, and the mother is full of her romantic ideas about war. I'm clear? John Brown is full of, he comes later on in the poem, alright? Later on in the poem we see that realization comes to John Brown, and he understands that war is indeed something which spreads death and destruction. War is something which does good to no one. But the mother of John Brown, she is full of romantic ideas about war. She's very happy when her son becomes a soldier. Okay, because during those times it was thought that soldiers are people who are very brave and courageous, and they go to the battlefield in order to fight for their country. So they were heroes. They were termed as heroes. They were very brave. They were supposed to be very brave, and they were supposed to be very courageous. Okay, so his mama sure was proud of him. He stood straight and tall in his uniform. So he was wearing his uniform of soldier, or he was standing in front of his mother, and the mother was very happy to look at her son wearing uniform and ready to go for war. He stood straight and tall in his uniform, and all his mama's face broke out in a grin smile. So she was looking at her son and she was smiling. She was very happy looking at her son, because her son was wearing the uniform of a soldier and he was ready to go for the war. So here we see the mother's view about the entire warfare. She has romantic ideas about war, and she is very proud that her son has now become a soldier, and which is a matter of pride for her. Okay, says, she starts praising her son and she says, "Oh my dear child, I'm so happy that you have become a soldier. Isn't it? You have become a soldier and now you are going to bring a lot of fame for our family." Isn't it? So she is very happy, alright? So she is very proud because her son is becoming a soldier. Alright, "You make me proud to know you hold a gun." So wearing a uniform and holding or carrying a gun are those great feats that her son has achieved. She was very proud that her son was wearing a uniform and holding a gun in his hand and ready to go to the battlefield to fight. So it was some kind of achievement. It was some kind of achievement of our son. Okay, so "You made me proud to know you hold a gun. Do what the captain says." So she says, listen to the orders of your higher authority. Alright, in the battlefield, you have to listen to the orders of your captain. You have to listen to the orders of your higher authority. You have to do whatever your captain tells you to do. Isn't it? So she instructs her son. She advises her son. She tells her son that listen to your captain. Alright, listen to the orders of your higher authority and then you will be rewarded for it. So she doesn't know the reality. Okay, so she says, do what the captain says. Lots of medals you will get. So if you listen to the orders of your higher authority, if you listen to the captain of yours, then you will in return get medals as an achievement. Okay, so do what the captain says. Lots of medals you will get and we will put them on the wall when you come home. So mother, she is completely ignorant of the realities of war. She thinks that when her son will be coming back from the battlefield, that all those medals which her son will be bringing back from the battlefield after fighting, alright, she will be putting up those medals in her showcase and that she will be showing it to her neighbors, which will be a proud moment for her. So she believes that her son will come back from the battlefield unscathed, without any injury, without any wounds, and without anything happening to him. Okay, so she is completely ignorant about the realities of war, the darker side. Okay, now as that old train pulled out, John's mom began to shout. Now the mother is very happy because the son is now ready to go to the battlefield. He's all ready to go. Now he will be going to fight for his country. So as that old train pulled out, John's mom began to shout, telling everyone in the neighborhood, "That's my son that's about to go." So she is very happy. She shouts and then she calls in her neighbors because she wants the whole world to know that her son has become a soldier. So she shouts, she's very happy and she tells her neighbor that, my son is now a soldier and he is now going to fight for his country. Now, that's my soldier, that's my son that's about to go. He is a soldier, She made well sure her neighbors understood. So she said it in such a manner that everyone understood that her son was going to become a soldier. She said it so loudly and clearly so that everyone understands that her son has now become a soldier. Okay, now she got a letter once in a while so that didn't affect her much. Sometimes she used to get letter from her son. She got a letter once in a while and her face broke into a smile. So sometimes, alright, she used to get letters from her son, so that would make her happy. As she showed them to the people from the next door, and she bragged about her son with his gun and uniform. So she showed the letter to her neighbors, and she boasted about her son, and she went everywhere to everyone to tell that, you know, my son has sent a letter, and now, you know, he is a soldier fighting proudly in the battlefield for his country. Okay, and she bragged about her son with his uniform and gun. And these things you called a good old-fashioned war? This line is important. Please mark it. And these things you called a good old-fashioned war? Oh, good old-fashioned war. There's a repetition. There's a repetition of the line, good old-fashioned war. You know, this is a technique employed by the poets in order to draw the attention of the readers. The poets, or you know, the poets or the writers, they often repeat the line in a poem just to draw the attention of the readers. Alright, so here what is meant by this? Why Bob Dylan wants us to, you know, to see this line very carefully. Why Bob Dylan wants us to have a look at this line twice, to read this line twice. Because what he is trying to say through these lines are, just see, and these things you called a good old-fashioned war. Good old-fashioned war. It refers to the old concept of war. Good old-fashioned war refers to the old concept of war. Actually, Bob Dylan is mocking or criticizing at the old concept of war, which says that war is a glorious act. War is a heroic act, and soldiers who goes to the battlefield in order to fight, they are no less than a hero. Okay? So, and these things you called a good old-fashioned war, a mockery at the entire old concept of war, which says that war is an act of heroism. War is a glorious act. Okay, so, and these things you called a good old-fashioned war? Oh, good old-fashioned war. So Bob Dylan is criticizing the entire concept, the old concept of war. Okay, now what happens? Then the letter ceased to come. Ceased means to stop, alright. So maybe the son was too much engaged, or something must have happened, not clearly mentioned. But then what happens is, John Brown, he stops sending letters to his mother. Okay. Now, then the letters ceased to come. For a long time, they did not come. So for a long time, for a long period of time, she did not receive any letter from her son. Excuse me. They ceased to come for about 10 months or so. So, for a period of almost 10 months, she did not receive any letter from her son. It is a matter to worry. It is something which will be a thing to worry for a mother. But then we see she's not so much worried about it. Okay, so they ceased to come for about 10 months or so. Then a letter finally came saying, go down and meet the train. So after a period of 10 months, she receives a letter from the station saying that your son is coming home, so come and meet your son. Okay. Now, then a letter finally came saying saying, go down and meet the train. Your sons are coming home from the war. So she receives a small letter informing about the arrival of her son. Not necessarily written by her son, but coming from the station, informing about the arrival of her son, telling her to meet her son at the platform. Okay. Now she is very happy. She smiled and went right down. So the mother of John Brown is very happy. She doesn't understand. She just knows that her son is coming back home. Maybe he got a holiday or something like that. So she is very happy. So she goes to meet her son. She looked everywhere around. So she was searching for her son everywhere. Alright. Now, but she could not see. Just see, her soldier son. Her son was still a soldier son for her. So, but she could not see her soldier son in sight. But what was the saddest part? She was there at the station. She was there looking for her son. The train arrived, but she could not see her son anywhere. Okay. So, but as all the people passed, she saw her son at last. At the end, when everybody got down from the train, when the station, when the platform was almost clear, then she saw her son. Okay, when she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. And then when she saw her son, after searching for a long time, when the station was almost empty, when ultimately she saw her son, she was shocked to see her son. She couldn't believe her eyes. Now, what had actually happened? What had actually happened when she sees her son for the first time after he comes back from the battlefield? All her romantic ideas will be shattered. She thought that her son will come back, her comeback will be coming back in a healthy, in a good way. But then what do we find is, which will be shattering all her romantic ideas. So, when she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. Okay. Oh, his face was all shot up. So, there was all bloodshot all over his face. And his hand was all blown off. So, one of his hand had also blown off now. And he wore a metal brace. Why he was wearing this metal brace? Because his spinal cord was broken. Alright. So in order to support or in order to stand, make himself straight, alright, he was wearing this metal brace. Okay. And he wore a metal brace around his waist. So since his spinal cord was broken, so he was wearing this metal brace in order to keep himself straight. And he wore a metal brace around his waist. He whispered kind of slow. So he started whispering. He was not able to speak properly. Alright, he was not able to speak properly. His voice was not clear. So very softly he was speaking to his mother. So he whispered kind of slow in a voice she did not know. So it seems as if she was not hearing the voice of her son. Alright, yes, so he whispered kind of slow in a voice she did not know. It seemed as if she was not able to recognize the voice of her son. Okay, so while she couldn't even recognize his face, oh Lord, not even recognize his face. Again, this line has been repeated because Bob Dylan, he wants the reader to make an emphasis on this line. There's a repetition of this line again so that he wants the reader to draw their attention towards these lines. So he says, while she couldn't recognize such a manner. Okay, so we stop here. We are going to continue in the next class. Thank you.